Hello, all you writers out there. Are you ready to learn more about how to write your book from me, Elizabeth Ann Atkins at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, along with our superstar best-selling author, Joanie Lindenmeyer? She wrote a book. I coached her. It's a bestseller. It's amazing. And now she and I are writing two books together. And so we are coming together for you to show you how to write your book. So every Friday, we come on here at the Two Sisters Writing and Publishing YouTube channel to share our guidance on how to write a book. So welcome, Joanie.
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you this beautiful Friday? First day of September. How are you?
I'm so grateful. It's been an amazing summer. We have a gorgeous day here in Michigan, and I know you're having a beautiful day in Oregon where you are. And now we get to share our wisdom thanks to the wonders of technology to
Yes.
Zoom live on YouTube and share our wisdom. And then it's there for people to watch and share. So all of you get ready and watch all of our other videos because we are sharing step by step how to write a book. So Joanie, you are a very successful best-selling author whose book is touching lives everywhere. And it's an LGBTQ love story called Nun Better, an amazing love story by Joanie Lindenmeyer with Carol Tierheimer. Carol is your 40-year partner. She's in heaven right now, and it's a beautiful love story. So Joanie, you followed all my directions when I was your book coach last year to write your book in 5 months, everybody. 5 months, she did it. It was incredible. She made it sing. So you got to read this book because it's so good. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and anywhere that books are sold online. None Better, an amazing love story. So Joanie, the topic for today is...
Oh, I get to go. It is keeping a notepad handy because when things hit you, it's like you better write them down before you forget them.
Yes,
Woo-hoo!
yes.
Keep that notepad handy.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you saw my desk, I literally have 5 notebooks on my desk and my calendar because ideas are constantly popping into my head and I must write them down because as a publisher, I have so many projects open and all the things I'm doing. Whoa, sorry about that. Let's mute the phone. So many projects coming in. It's really important to write down ideas as they come. So, Joanie, when you were writing your book, talk about how there's just this absolute geyser that opens up with ideas once you start the writing process.
Oh my gosh, I like that word geyser because that is absolutely the truth. And my vision is a fire hydrant that all of a sudden just bursts with water out of nowhere. And that's what happens with your head and heart. And yes. So what I did to make that happen is I had pieces of little pads of those little sticky note things like this one here. Here's a purple one, but I would have these everywhere in my house. That's what I started with, Elizabeth, when I write it down. And then I had to, like you just said, a notebook. I had to go into the notebook realm. So in every room I had a notebook. I would even have one by my bed. So in the middle of the night, I had this little push button battery operated light, and lo and behold, something would hit me and it was like, I'm just scribbling. I don't have my glasses on. I hope it's getting on there. And then I'd have to decipher it in the morning because I couldn't always understand or see my writing. But anyways, I got the feeling. And when you wrote it down, it kept the feeling alive. And then I was able to do it. In the car, that was even crazier because it's like, I'm very careful when I drive and where I drive. And so sometimes I would even pull off to the side of the road. I'd pull into the next parking lot. I'd pull somewhere and jot it down. I have papers in my car. I have calendar in my car. I have all those kind of things and just write it down.
Yes. So you and I are similar in that we like the tactile experience of a pen on paper, and then you can visually look at it. That's redundant. Then you can look at it whenever you want to reference back to it. But in this high-tech world, I often, if I'm out somewhere and I'm not at my desk, I don't have a notebook handy, I will take my phone and I'll either go to the notepad area and just type out my idea. Okay. Or this is even easier if you're just in a situation where you can't even do that. I go to the audio recording app on the phone. I have an iPhone. Hopefully Androids have the same function. You just push the recording app and talk. talk your idea out and record it, save it as idea for book and put the date or the topic. And then that really works for me. So the bottom line, everybody out there, is once you start this writing process, especially if you've been stuck in writer's block, scared, confused, overwhelmed, once those ideas start gushing, you must record them as they come. And isn't there like 60,000 thoughts a day or a minute or something like that? I need to find the real number, but our brains are like 10,000 wild horses going in all different directions. We have to rein that in. And once the ideas start, record them. You'll be so upset if you're like, oh, what was that brilliant idea I got at the gym today? And now you can't remember. That's infuriating. Right, Joanie?
Exactly.
Yeah. So can you talk about how you organized all these ideas? I mean, so say you have all these notebooks in your purse, your car, your desk, your table, your bathroom, the bedroom. How do you put it all together to make sense of it?
That was probably the silliest part. I have paper plates, napkins, notebooks, all those things. And it's like, oh my gosh, where do they go? What do I do with these things? And so thank goodness for the outline. And then I was able to say, okay, this idea, this story needs to go in this slot. This one needs to go in this one. This one needs to go in this one. And so then you would see on my table or my desk sometimes piles of stuff with a paper towel in between them, because that would separate the ideas. I'm not real fancy here or office kind of person, you know, and that's how I would do that. And then I would literally hold those napkins, paper towels, notebooks or whatever, and I would look at them and read them aloud. And sometimes, Elizabeth, I would close my eyes and I could remember when that hit me in the car or in the garden or when I was with somebody or whatever. I would remember that feeling. It was the feelings, not just the words and the thoughts. And so you and you just mentioned your cool thing of how you do it on your phone. The way you do it on your phone. Well, I've invented a new way, since I'm so, well, you tell me what the words might be. Anyways, I am using the video recorder of myself telling these things. Brilliant. And then I'm also showing whatever I need. What triggered that? What triggered that? Was that the sunshine? Was that the moon? Was that the beach? Was that whatever that was? And so when I'm recording it and then I go back and listen to the recording, here's the cool part. I'm loving what I'm doing right now. So I've got it on my phone and I'm listening to what I had put in there as my geyser joy juice that flowed. And so I'm listening to it and I'm typing what I'm going to type, my story, my writing, whatever. And then I just pause it, type, pause it, listen again. So I listen, pause, type, listen, pause, type, listen, pause, type, listen, pause, type. And that's how I'm doing my new writing for these new books that we're doing. And it's working so well. I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody, witness Joanie's excitement, witness her energy, witness her joy in finding her own system. So we're sharing all these tips for you to record your ideas as they come and use them in an organized manner. But look at what she did. She figured out her own method. And if you watch other interviews that we've done over the recent weeks, she took what I said and made her own. For example, finding your target audience and writing for them. She had to ask herself, who am I talking to? She had to put it in her own words. So Joanie, you did that brilliantly. So everybody, have the creativity and know yourself and know what's going to work best for you. Because some people don't want to write in a notebook. Some people don't want to text a note on their phone. They want to record their voice. It's the easiest. And if you do video, you're capturing the excitement and the exuberance that you have, right, Joanie?
Yes, totally.
So let me just share, you're probably wondering why Joanie is wearing two flags on her head. Well, first of all, those are the LGBTQ plus rainbow flag and pride flag. And secondly, that's Joanie's personality. She's super, super fun and high energy. And that's a message for you writing your book, because it's, you're so silly.
Sorry. I know, I'm silly.
So for you, don't think of the book as, oh, it's hard, it's overwhelming, I don't know what to do. Have fun with it. chances are your book has been calling you for years and years. You're finally sitting down to do it. And if you need help from me as a book coach, my next 6-month book coaching program, it's called 6 Months to Best-Selling Book Success, starts in October. And drop a comment here, email me at elizabeth@twosisterswriting.com, elizabeth@2twosisterswriting.com, so I can send you some more information, because this program gets results. And Joanie is here as an example of that. But throughout the process, she was just this fun and this energetic. So I want you to have fun with the work, have fun with it, because it's going to be the most fulfilling experience to actually hold your physical book in your hands that you wrote, you worked on for so long. Here's Joanie's book, and it's just so beautiful. It's a hardcover, paperback, and ebook available, with the audiobook coming soon. And it's just beautiful. It's a physical thing that came out of an idea. Right, Joanie?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So let's talk a little more about recording those ideas. When they come, do you write in words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs? Do you just blurt out a whole scene that comes on the video? How extensive is it?
Oh my gollies. Oh, that's a great question. Let me think
Thanks.
about that for a minute.
Thank you.
I think the majority of it is short, or you're going to laugh at this one. Less is more. I've learned that from you. So
One of my favorite sayings.
Less is more. So probably on my papers that I write, it's 1 word, 2 words, 3 words in just a remembrance of a story or a thought. It's just a 1, 2, or 3 words. When I'm doing the oh boy, what do you call that again on my phone? The video recording of my voice and my actions, that is a little bit longer. Those are, and that's because I talk a lot, 30 seconds, 1 minute or whatever. And so, I could be acting something out, or I could just jump into this mode of being like a storyteller in a kindergarten or 1st grade class. Like, oh, I got to tell you this story. This has got to go in the book. And then I just start spilling the story. And then that'll kick me off. I won't tell the entire story, but it'll give me the overall general theme of that story that will go in the book.
Nice.
Just like this hat here. I was just in San Diego for a week, Elizabeth, and I didn't always have a notebook with me. And personally, I am overwhelmed. My heart is exploding like that geyser you were talking about, for all the people I have met. And so there's Marcelina, who gave me these beautiful healing pins that she made. And that's going to be a story connected in the book, because one of our books is Healing Religious Hurts. And that was what came up at the book event. Oh my gosh, the people that shared their hurts or their experiences and their story. Oh my gosh, we can learn so much from everybody's story, Elizabeth. Oh, my heart just gets overwhelmed. And then I met Michael at the gay bar, and then I met this and that, and it just, oh my gollies, oh my gollies, all these things.
I love it, Joanie. You're such a you're an earth angel. You're a former Catholic nun, but you're absolutely an earth angel, because your book and your personality, you touch people wherever you go, and it brings something out of them. It affirms them, it heals them. And everybody, for you, whatever the message is in your book, that is going to go out into the world on behalf of you and touch lives, change lives, save lives, potentially. Save lives.
And you've done that too. You've done that too, Elizabeth. I know you have. You've touched so many lives, and you save lives all the time.
Oh, thank you, Joanie. It actually, a woman just introduced me to someone saying, this woman saved my life, because I helped her in a crisis. Oh my gosh. Woo! I helped her in a crisis. But my book, God's Answer is No, Lessons from a Spiritual Life, is my spiritual memoir, where I talk about my deep connection to God, Spirit, Jesus, angels, ancestors, and the universe, and how important it is to connect. Because during my most dismal times, when I was having suicidal thoughts, which I talk about in here, Spirit said, rejoice. Spirit said, rejoice. And I'm like, I'm crying myself to sleep. Why am I supposed to rejoice? And within a few days, something so miraculous happened to turn things around for me, because I had situational depression. It wasn't chemical. And so everything just became an upward trajectory from there. So I trusted I trusted source, God, spirit, cosmos, angels, ancestors to guide me. And that's the message I teach in this book. And you do too, Joanie, because you and Carol, you two got together when LGBTQ plus freedoms were a distant fantasy in the 80s during the height of the HIV/AIDS crisis, when there was so much hostility toward gay people. And so your story is remarkable, and you provide such an example of courage and perseverance. And that's what all of you can do with your book when you tell your story of what you've accomplished. So Joanie, were there ever times
Thank
when
you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And that takes courage to do that to me on a podcast, what you just did, not just in a book, but when you do it live and people can see your face and see your emotion. Thank you. Yep.
I'm not going to start crying.
Hey, maybe it's your day to cry instead of me. No, mine will come later.
Joanie cries a lot.
You know, and I think part of it, Elizabeth, is it's like wherever I go, here we go, you got me going now. I see Jesus in people, and I try to be as good as I can and being like a Jesus to them. And like you just said, and that's what it's all about, are these connections. And people, as you're watching this right now, know that you're powerful. You're so loved by God. You're so loved, and you can let it out in your writing, your book, your voice. It's however you can use your voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very importantly, Joanie and I are both deeply spiritual. And so that is a part. And I believe that the creative genius that we tap into when we're writing, and this applies to everybody, there is a source outside of ourselves that's greater than us, and it guides us. And when you tap into that frequency, the writing writes itself. I liken it to a satellite dish attached to my head, and the source is beaming into my head all these ideas, because I'll be writing and I'll be like, wait, where'd that come from? And it's source channeling through me to write what I need to write. And so I just have a prop today too. So it's from
I love it. Oh, look at that peacock, beautiful feathers. Tell me.
So last week when I was in Washington, D.C., I saw my meditation teacher, Dr. Rama, who wrote the foreword for this book. And he's amazing. He's from India. He's Hindu. He taught me how to meditate in 2010, and that changed my life entirely. So he had a ceremony at his home. My mother and I were there, and it was just remarkable.
I want to feel those.
I know. They're peacock feathers. It's a whole bunch of them, and they're from a temple in India. And they were part of this religious prayer service that he had at his home for me and my mother. And he was talking about my spiritual gifts and how I help others. And those of you who are here to talk about writing, it's all connected, because my spiritual connection fuels my writing. It helps me tap into that supernatural frequency of creativity that gets me into my supernatural genius zone for writing. And so I keep things like this. It's highly blessed. Peacock feathers are extremely auspicious. And Joanie keeps, as you can see, all kinds of things around her. She has fresh flowers from her garden, and there's nothing more high vibe than Mother Nature and flowers, sunshine, nature. And so, so for all of you, in addition to, those are so gorgeous. And you said they smell good too.
They're my favorite flower. If you ever want to know my favorite flower, it's sweet peas.
Oh, they smell delicious.
Yeah, they smell delicious. I love it. So you have your peacock, and I have these, and look at that. Oh, how fun. What a work of art by God.
Yes, beautiful. Yes. Okay. So all of you, in addition to writing down your topics, keep things around you that make you feel uplifted and inspired. My desk is covered in crystals. My son gave me this, so it's extra special. I'm wearing crystals. Joanie has all kinds of mementos around her, including the poster of the book cover behind her. And I have flowers, and you have to create a workspace. Joanie, let's do a talk on this, but you have to have a workspace that is conducive to your creative vibe. Very importantly, the temperature has to be right, because if it's warm, I'll get drowsy and my brain fogs over. So I have to keep it cool. I have a ceiling fan, air conditioning. What?
I just love it. Your brain gets fogged over. Oh my gosh, I can relate.
Forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah, let's do a talk on that another day, Joanie, because that's super powerful.
And I am so excited that you had a prop. That makes me so happy. It's like, yes, we can all go back to kindergarten together and have our props that trigger that great creative juice again.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Yes. Okay, so look at Joni's excitement, but I have a really important point to share that's about, I said have fun with it. Joni's excited and happy. Some of the things we write about are not happy, and some of the
Oh, I
things that
know.
are happening in real time that pertain to the book
I
don't
know.
feel good. So that's why, in addition to taking
Yeah.
notes for the book, I journal like all day. If something happens and I'm feeling like a cyclone of angst inside my body that's twirling and I can't concentrate, I write about it. This is the same thing, taking notes, because those notes can go into my book that I'm writing. My next book is about self-love, how to go from hating yourself to loving yourself. And I had those moments
Mm.
years ago when I was struggling with food, fat, body image, depressed. Oh my God, it was terrible. And so my journals from that time, real time, are excerpted in this book because I talked about how caught up and hellish my mindset was. So now when I have an issue, I write about it and it's going into my book because
Yeah.
it's showing the depth of the angst that I was experiencing. Because life is not all rainbows and butterflies. We have
So true.
issues, we have stuff, we have pain, we have things we don't really understand about ourselves. We have tragedies happen, scary things happen, and so that's real. So yeah, have fun with it, but acknowledge that. I liken writing about the angst in the moment with vomiting if you ate something that's making you feel sick. As soon as you
Oh,
throw up, you get the
oh,
offending item out of your stomach and you feel better. So as soon as you purge out those negative feelings that might be golden nuggets for your book, you're going to realize you just preserve some great stuff for your writing process. And it all pertains to Joanie saying, take notes, take notes, take notes, because it can be
yes.
real time stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so amazing because, and I've only known you about a year, and I do so many similar things and have for almost all my life because I also journal. And that's where my heart of my, oh boy, my pains, my struggles, all those things you're talking about, that's where it comes out. And it
Yeah.
comes out in my music. So
Uh-huh.
you write, and it comes
Hmm.
out when I'm playing guitar or singing, and I
Hmm.
don't have the greatest voice or anything, but to me, it's important because it's coming out. Oh boy, you triggered something there.
Uh-huh.
Woohoo! Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
It's real. It's real. So my
yeah.
mother, she wrote her memoir, The Triumph of Rosemary, a memoir by Judge Marilyn E. Atkins, which is being made into a screenplay to shop to Hollywood after the writer's strike. So it'll be a movie. But she experienced a lot of trauma. And when she wrote her book, I asked, did it hurt you? Was it hard to write about those scenes? And she said, no. She's healed them and released them. It's her story. She believes in telling the truth in its raw form, as hard as it can be. So it doesn't have to be painful when you write about things that are difficult.
Hmm.
But just
Hmm.
be ready because it is a purging process. And I think writing a book is extremely therapeutic because it helps you reflect on how strong you are. You made it through some stuff. You're a survivor, you, Joanie, and everybody listening. We've all gone through things and survived, and that makes us a strong survivor. So,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes, which
um,
reminds me, I have recommended several people to get a hold of you for your book coaching class.
oh,
And
thank
so,
you, Joanie.
Eileen, if you're out there, I know that you might have to put it on hold because of some surgery coming up, and that's fine and dandy. But Elizabeth will be there when you're ready, which is really cool. And I want to give a shout out to Michael, whose partner just passed away recently, and
Oh,
he's
I'm so sorry.
struggling, and
Oh,
he has an incredible story, and he's going to be part of our books, Elizabeth, because
oh,
his
good.
story is just phenomenal. I haven't talked to you about that or anything, but Michael, I know you're out there too, and our hearts are with you. And I guess I'm saying to everybody that the people you meet in your life are also a big part of what you're doing in your writing or you're expressing. And
Hmm.
they are valuable, valuable people with their stories that have impacted you. And it's becomes a mutual thing. And that is profoundness.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Joni, thank you for that. So beautiful. So, just for everybody to understand, for our two new books that we're doing, one is about living free and happy as an LGBTQ plus person, and the
And
other,
allies.
allies and parents too. Yes.
Yes.
And the second book is about healing religious hurts. So, we're inviting people that we know to contribute. their stories to the book. So it's going to add these tremendous textures, layers, woven into the storytelling of all these different people's experiences and perspectives. That's going to be such a rich reading experience for all of you and all the people who really, really need these books. They're unlike anything you've read. Joanie and I together, I've never done this before. I did write a book with Billy D. Williams, the actor, called Twilight, and it's a lush love story, but it was fiction. Novel, best-selling novel from St. Martin's Press. Awesome book. But I've never teamed up like this to write a book with somebody, and Joanie is so special, and we both have such unique perspectives on both topics. It's just going to be an absolute gift to everybody to help them. So Joanie, do you have any final words on note-taking during the book writing process?
Let the geyser flow. I love that imagery that you said, and that's it. Let that geyser flow and be ready to write it down or put it video, however you need to do it. But it's there for you for a reason for other people.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Beautiful, beautiful, Joanie. Well, Joanie Lindenmeyer, author of Nun Better, An Amazing Love Story, a bestseller, powerful book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. We're extremely grateful that all of you joined us today. Please share this with anybody who's writing a book, and please stay on the Two Sisters Writing and Publishing YouTube channel so that you can check out all the videos we've done. We did 6 videos just about her book and all powerful topics pertaining to LGBTQ plus issues. And then we are doing this weekly series throughout the writing process. And the books don't come out until June of 2024. So stay tuned, because we're sharing a wealth of knowledge that you need to write your book. So Joanie, thank you for joining me again today.
Yes. And thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. You are such a busy lady, and you do these every Friday. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you all of you for watching, and we will see you again next week. But please check out everything. Oh, and if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, please drop us a comment, and we would love to explore and help you understand what you need to know to write that powerful best-selling book that can touch lives all around the world. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. Happy writing.
You bet. Big love hugs. Big love hugs.